This is The Last Judgment, a painting by the 19th century English artist John Martin. The piece depicts the end of the world as told in the Book of Revelation, the final book of the Christian Bible. The composition is divided into 3 sections, showing the multitude of heaven on top, those who have been spared from God's judgment on the left, and the damned sinners being cast into the abyss on the right. Those who have been saved stand before the city of Jerusalem, positioned by the right hand of God, who himself is sitting atop a throne in heaven, surrounded by the 24 seated elders and a chorus of angels. You could even see some of Martin's own personal touches, such as the saved including many notable artists, writers, and scientists that he admired, such as Isaac Newton and William Shakespeare. Properly depicting the events of Revelation is difficult. It's an event that's not meant to be entirely comprehensible. Even this incredibly detailed painting is just one of 3 that Martin made in order to properly display the story's events. The first painting, titled The Plains of Heaven, depicts a wide, idyllic landscape where those who are saved will be taken during the apocalypse. Meanwhile, the final painting is titled The Great Day of His Wrath, and shows the state of the earth as it is dealt the full fury of heaven. And yet, even these 3 put together are not enough to tell the whole story. Revelation is a tale that is rich with detail and numerous impactful events. It tells of great wars, of plagues and natural disasters, of horrifying beasts and strange creatures whose true forms are incapable of being comprehended by man. Martin, and many others before and after him, have tried their hand at properly conveying Revelation's scale through art. Various paintings and stories, both analogous and literal, all trying to fully encompass the sheer scale of a literally biblical catastrophe, and not one has been able to fully manage it. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about anime again. Bastard kicks ass, dude. Originally published in Weekly Shonen Jump in 1988, the series' Dungeons & Dragons-inspired setting and heavy metal-inspired tone resulted in a dark, wild fantasy story filled to the brim with sex and violence. Like, so much so that it was barely allowed to be published in a weekly shonen magazine. This tone and style would go on to influence many future high fantasy Japanese properties, with Daisuke Ishiwatari even citing it as a major inspiration when he was creating the first Guilty Gear game. The series has even been getting a bit of a resurgence lately, with a pretty solid new anime adaptation being released on Netflix. Bastard stars Dark Schneider, an evil wizard who has been sealed inside the body of a young boy, Lucian Renlin, by Gio Noto Soto, a priest from the kingdom of Metallicana. However, when powerful forces of darkness threaten Metallicana, they realize that their only hope might just be their former enemy. And so, with a kiss from a virgin maiden, namely Gio's daughter Yoko, Dark Schneider is released, thus beginning his unlikely quest to fight against the evil cult trying to resurrect their dark god, Anthrasax. Bastard is a fantastic series, with some inspired writing and truly jaw-dropping art. Although, it's not gonna be for everyone. As I mentioned, the series makes use of copious amounts of gore and sex. Bastard's creator, Kazushi Hagiwara, definitely has a passion for drawing boobalicious women, so much so that he's written and illustrated multiple hentai doujins of his own series. Like, there's a character literally named Porno. So if that's not really your thing, then this may not be the series for you. But if you can get past the horniness, Bastard really has a lot to offer as a story. So what does any of this have to do with what we were talking about at the beginning of the video? Well, to discuss that, I'm gonna have to get into major spoiler territory here. If Bastard sounds interesting to you at all, I highly recommend reading it before watching. If you want to learn more without any major spoilers, I'd suggest checking out Mr. Cheese's video on the series. He does a way better job discussing it than I probably could. Bastard drops 2 major plot twists on the reader that majorly change the way you view its world. The first is revealed near the beginning of the second arc of the story, the Hell's Requiem arc. This high fantasy world, rather than being set in the past, is actually set in the future. The world of Bastard is actually Earth after it was ravaged by a massive war, with Anthrasax not being a god, but a massive biomechanical superweapon who went rogue and threatened to wipe out all of humanity. The Dragon Knight that opposed her was not merely a man, but a giant mech in the form of a dragon. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority. At this point, this is all the information the reader is given. Anthrasax clashed with the Dragon Knight 400 years before the events of Bastard take place, wiping the slate of the modern world clean, and resulting in the fantasy world present in the series. However, we're never privy to the finer details. So, come the eventual clash between Dark Schneider and Anthrasax, there's a hard-fought battle, but our handsome hero manages to prevail in the end. But plot twist! What Dark Schneider and co. destroyed was but a single one of the true Anthrasax's cells. The sky breaks to reveal an entire fleet of horrific demon entities, which begin mercilessly annihilating humanity. This is the true power of Anthrasax, the god of destruction, a self-aware, ever-evolving techno-organic superweapon. The manga itself makes clear that it is less of an entity and more of a force of nature. The logic behind its actions remains a mystery. Perhaps it acts of its own intelligence, emotions, or instincts. Perhaps it is choosing its movements according to the designs of some unknown party. Nothing is known of its origin. Whatever the genesis of its motives, the intent of the Dark God is perfectly clear, and that is the systematic extermination of the entire human race and the purging of all society. The artwork in this part of the manga helps sell the feeling of despair. Each and every one of Anthrasax's demonic army is rendered in grotesque, horrifying detail, as is the death and destruction they cause. It's a terrifying, though not uncommon sight in fiction, the ultimate creation of mankind becoming their destructor. The only hope for the world lies in the hands of our protagonists, now on board the floating ark piloted by the 10 great wise men who created Anthrasax in the first place. However, this is when something strange happens. The clouds part and the sky, previously filled with smoke and darkness, is suddenly cloaked in a blazing light. The demonic entities all stop and turn towards the light, a great heavenly glow. Then, as if commanded, they all disappear, only to suddenly reappear outside the ark, hell-bent on destroying whatever is inside. Even as the story continues, with Dark Schneider tearing through these creatures like tissue paper, something still feels off. Anthrasax constantly talks as if humans are nothing but scum for daring to oppose a god, as if their destruction is something preordained that cannot be stopped, even as it is being destroyed by Dark Schneider. And then Dark Schneider is killed, banished to a different dimension by Anthrasax as it is dying, with its final words being, "Darkness can never win against the light." It's here that a lot of exposition is dumped on the reader. Abigail, one of the few characters with knowledge of the old world, explains that the old world was our present-day one, with large cities spanning the globe, populated by a vast number of humans. However, humanity's constant wars and pollution slowly damaged the Earth, eventually leading to the Great Destruction 400 years prior. And aside from humans themselves, all life forms on Earth died out, allowing new species such as dragons and elves to grow and flourish. However, 400 years is a relatively short amount of time for such a drastic change to occur in the grand scheme of things, leading to Abigail posing the question, what if this world that we know and inhabit right now, what if this was a world that someone had designed 400 years ago? And furthermore, what if it was brought about through the unrestrained zeal of just a handful of humans? Yoko, serving as the audience surrogate in this moment, naturally retorts that such a thing isn't possible, that creating life and a world is something only feasible and permissible by God. The monitor on the Ark flickers to life, showing the pair the scene unfolding outside. Dark Schneider, dead, and the god of destruction Anthrasax, glowing with a brilliant light, transforming into its true form. By now, the pieces have probably clicked into place, but if they haven't, Abigail is there to spell it out. Desiring to exterminate all humanity, the one who dispatched the demonic gods to wreak total destruction and mass slaughter is not the devil, but God! The true nature of that terrifying monster, that ugly, evil, dreaded beast. This is the one whom you have loved, the one whom you have offered up your prayers as a virtuous priestess. Listen, Tianoto Yoko. It is the angel sent by God! All of this death, all of this destruction, all of this despair is the work of God. As in the one true capital G guy from the Bible, God. It's an inherently terrifying feeling. People turn to religions like Christianity for comfort, for understanding, for a way to explain the workings of the world and how they should live their lives, all tied to the belief that God is good and just, and that everything in the world happens according to His design. So what happens to those beliefs when it is revealed that God wants nothing more than for you to die?
I can't believe that mankind will die because of God's wrath. That annihilation would be God's divine will. Then people are to die? Is that all that is left for mankind? Please! Was mankind born only to be destroyed? Our lives up to now, our deaths, what are they? What was the point of being born?
What was the point of being born? Why are humans born if they are destined to be destroyed by their own maker? This is why I believe Bastard does a better job depicting the wrath of God than most, because not only does it demonstrate how truly terrifying such an apocalypse would be, it also dares to ask the philosophical questions that come with it. It conveys both the primal fear of the end of the world and the existential dread of realizing that such an event was orchestrated by mankind's creator. The manga begins straight up putting Bible verses at the beginning of some chapters, just to demonstrate the gravity of the situation, as the main cast starts getting picked off one by one. So, is that it then? Try as our heroes might, they cannot overcome the power of the angels, thus dooming all of humanity. Was this situation the entire time just pointless? Hell no, this is anime we're talking about, remember?
You don't get it, do you? You know quite well that angels are harmful. You're of the same race. You took advantage of my absence to come to my house and slaughter my servants. I will never forgive you. Humanity, mercy, don't make me laugh. Angels or demons, I'll kill every single one of you!
If there's one theme that runs through the entirety of Bastard, it's humanity. Humans are a lot of things. They're good, they're evil, they're brave, they're cowardly, they're strong, they're weak. But more than anything else, humans are survivors. They will look danger in the face and find whatever means they can to survive it. Humanity treasures the beauty of life over all else, and nothing exemplifies this more than Bastard's protagonist, Dark Schneider. And if you're wondering, wait, didn't he die? Don't worry, he's just chilling out in hell with Satan. He'll be back. Dark Schneider is an interesting case as far as protagonists go, because he is clearly not a good person. He's cruel, he's a lech, he's just overall kind of an asshole, which makes him perfect for a series like Bastard. In a world that can be so vile and unforgiving, it's almost refreshing to have a protagonist that can just laugh in the face of it all and enjoy life's more basic pleasures. Because despite all his flaws, it's very hard to truly hate Dark Schneider. He's got a charisma to him that makes him likable to not only the other characters in the story, but the reader as well. It's made clear through the other characters' interactions with him that this Dark Schneider is a different man than the evil overlord we were told about at the beginning. He develops into a truly heroic character, even putting himself in harm's way or sacrificing himself on multiple occasions for the sake of innocent humans. Contrary to what he might tell you, this Dark Schneider is not someone who hates humanity, but someone who hates the cruel injustices of the world as dictated by those with higher power and unchecked authority.
Justice is God's will. It is absolute. It's in His name that your crimes are judged. It is inevitable.
What we're up to is none of your business. You still don't get it, do you? Who's gonna judge your actions? Who, huh?
Is Dark Schneider still a perverted, conceited jerk? Oh, totally. He is a bastard in multiple senses of the word. But throughout the story, we see him experience joy, sorrow, rage, and genuine love. By the end, he even learns that the best solution is not always to destroy the opposition, but to save them. He's a guy who loves sex, violence, and his fellow man. And isn't that the most human thing of all? This is what I love about Bastard. It shows that humanity is not born good or born evil, but somewhere in between. Even though it is the forces of God that are destroying the planet, it is because of the actions of humans that the Armageddon is even happening in the first place. Man can choose to dutifully follow the words of a higher divine power, but they also don't necessarily need that belief to be good people. More than anything, Bastard and Dark Schneider illustrate hope. You can knock humanity down, face them with the literal end of the world, and they'll still get back up, laughing in the face of the odds. Humanity will keep on going, regardless of what we're told. And if you ask me, that's pretty goddamn amazing. Hey, thanks so much for watching. I tried a bunch of new stuff with the editing for this one, so I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, consider leaving a like or a comment down below, and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps me out. I'd also like to give an extra special thanks to my friend Mira for providing the voices for Yoko and Michael in this video. She did a fantastic job. But that's all for now, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.